It was the last game everybody wanted to see delayed, right? It was the last one. God, this is good stuff. Top quality comedy in the morning. Guys, The Last of Us has been the last game to be delayed.
Okay, well, I think I should take over at this point now. This is already a train wreck. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Unfortunately, today we do have sad news. One of the biggest things to look forward to in 2020 is it's coming a bit later than we planned. Sony announcing today that the game will see a delay, and we don't even know the date. There's a whole bunch of other news as well in relation to this and what it could mean for future other games coming out in 2020. It's not looking good. Let's talk about it after the drop.
That's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
You think I'd let...
Let's just get this out of the way. Ralph and I, gigantic fans of this. The channel knows this. New people might not know that we live and breathe The Last of Us. So when we saw the news, devastated. To be honest, I don't really care that much, but I know a lot of people are going to be absolutely devastated by this news.
True.
Because this is like the game they've been waiting for since The Last of Us Part 1. Is that what we're calling it now, Last of Us Part 1? Or is it still just The Last of Us?
So. Interestingly enough, I think Last of Us was just voted like the best Sony game of the last sort of like ever.
No.
Like according to the BAFTA Awards or whatever, I saw Cory Barlog tweeting about it. Because I think it went head to head with God of War at the end, and he's like,
tell me he didn't agree. He would have been like, oh yes, congratulations.
He was.
I'm so glad for you.
He tweeted about it. It was funny. Okay, but let's talk about the update. This is what came directly from PlayStation's Twitter feed. They said, SIE has made the difficult decision to delay the launch of The Last of Us Part 2 and Marvel's Iron Man VR until further notice. Logistically, the global crisis is preventing us from providing the launch experience our players deserve. Now, the big, very sad news within all of this is Iron Man VR.
Iron Man,
I mean,
huge,
I think
huge.
It's. I know people are upset about The Last of Us Part 2, but really, Iron Man VR was one of those once-in-a-generation opportunities. And I'm devastated, to be honest.
It definitely was. I mean, I remember walking past and maybe seeing some gameplay at a game show. So, I mean, the hype's real. You know, that's what I'm trying to say.
That's right.
I think I saw someone playing it at a game show with no line. So
it's possible that was it was possible that was the Batman VR game, though. We'll have to go and double check.
It could be many other superhero games, but like that's also a bit of a shame because look, all jokes aside, it kind of looked cool. Because actually, I did walk past it a few times at a game show, and I was like, that kind of looks
it does look
pretty
fun.
Cool.
It does
look fun. But look, the main event today is sadly Last of Us. So they have come out with a statement. Okay, Ralph, would you like to read the statement? Because I'm illiterate, and it'll be a lot easier if Ralph reads the statement. Everybody,
I'm happy to cover you on this one, Sam. No problem. As you've likely just seen, the release of The Last of Us Part 2 has been delayed. We're sure this news is just as disappointing to you as it is to us. We wanted to reach out to all of you in our community to give you a little more information. The good news is we're nearly done with the development of The Last of Us Part 2. We're in the midst of fixing our final bugs. However, even with us finishing the game, we were faced with the reality that due to logistics beyond our control, we couldn't launch The Last of Us Part 2 to our satisfaction. We want to make sure everyone gets to play The Last of Us Part 2 around the same time, ensuring that we're doing everything possible to preserve the best experience for everyone. This meant delaying the game until such time where we can solve these logistic issues. We were bummed about this decision, but ultimately understood it's what's best and fair for all our players. We're hoping that this won't be a long delay and we'll update you as soon as we have new information to share. We wish you all, your families, and your friends the best of health. Thank you for being amazing fans and your continued support. Stay safe, Naughty Dog. So, that's it, man.
If only we didn't cut that together, who would be the illiterate now? Interesting, everybody. The audience will never see that. But I think that it is very interesting. And my major question is, right? Why can't they still just get it out digitally? Like, why not? How many people are now going to digital stores? That's the first question for me.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think that question's triggered a lot of people already. A lot of people don't like digital. They just hate it.
In these crazy times, I'm not saying normally, I'm just saying in these crazy times, a lot of businesses are going to all lengths to make sure that it can still provide something for a customer. In these moments, if Naughty Dog was to come out and say, look, we have to only now distribute it through digital stores, GameStop's like closed in America and stuff, right? So that's already kind of out of the picture. Let's just do it through the digital storefront.
Look, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I just think the lived reality is that there's a lot of people who buy basically more than 50% of Sony's total sales are physical sales. Okay, it's a huge portion of their market. A lot of those people would rather see a game be delayed than released on a digital storefront because these people won't buy it digitally. They'll wait for it to be released physical, and that means that they can't play what everyone else has.
Yeah. I mean, everyone has an internet connection now, especially in first world countries. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I hear you. I just wonder why people would wait if they could if they're still paying the same amount of money. It's not a money thing, you know.
I get that. I'm just saying to you that this comment section is going to light the fuck up at this point with trying to explain why they would rather their game be delayed than see it released digital first.
I'm interested now to see the comment section. I wonder in these crazy times. I'm saying.
Well, you don't even need to look. You can actually just go and look at the tweet that they put out, and there's lots of people because a lot of people are still very wedded to physical, and I mean I get that. I do understand that. I personally buy digital pretty much all the way. But
you don't own your games then, Ralph. Yeah. You don't own them, man. You know, they can close their storefront, dude. You're out.
I understand why, particularly with a game as special as this one to so many people, why they would insist on physical copies. So, so I guess that also touches on another important point, which is the logistical challenges that they're facing right now are going to cost them money. Okay, so right now, for example, Final Fantasy VII is coming out. You're looking at a situation where it's come out in Australia 9 days early. We literally are playing the game right now because we could purchase
We're playing it right now.
Correct. So we have it and we're playing it, and that obviously is frustrating for a lot of people. And some people will say, that's so annoying. I'm just going to go and watch it on YouTube and I'm not going to purchase it. So they lose some sales there. But more specifically, they're going to lose sales releasing in this time because there's so much uncertainty about the retail sector, and being able to go to a store and buy it's just not possible for a lot of people because they're in lockdown, their stores are closed, etc. And so, given that physical is more than 50% of Sony's market, they thought, okay, this is the biggest thing we're going to do this year. Why don't we just put it off for a few months and delay it, put it out later? Same with movies. A lot of movies are being delayed right now because cinemas are closed. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's the same thing. Let's just keep it in the warehouse and release it later.
And there's also a conversation there about just, get it out digital-wise, but that is affecting a lot of the cinemas and stuff like that. So that's definitely, I can see the reasoning there. But if GameStop and all those places are closed, or if they are doing like drive past and collect, then sure, this will still affect them massively if The Last of Us only goes digital. I'm not saying that wouldn't completely devastate some of those storefronts if they are in fact still open.
So when I read this news, I was very much like, I wonder how much COVID has affected the development of The Last of Us and whether or not they're behind on their development schedule. Jason Schreier tweeted out about this. He says, Last of Us Part 2 was on track for May. Multiple devs say the primary reason for this delay is the challenge of printing, shipping, and selling physical games right now. Going remote has not stopped those still working on the game, such as QA, from crunching. Hopefully this delay helps. So that sort of puts to rest maybe the idea that this had anything to do with the game not being ready. It looks like it is ready. It's just the fact that they don't want to release it in this market where it's so difficult to get physical units out the door, which obviously makes a lot of sense.
Well, I definitely know that when you are working from home, productivity does go all the way down.
I'm like so productive right now.
No, YouTubers are different. I have now conditioned myself to. I work at home for the last 3 years, so like. But I know that, like, my partner, for instance, I'm like, you working, honey? She's like, I'm just watching a bit of SVU. I'm getting to it soon.
Same with my wife, actually. I'm like, are you supposed to be working right now? She's like, I totally am, like watching Tiger King.
I think some people, it's such a shock, so I wonder if The Last of Us might not be affected by it. I wonder if other games are going to be affected by a decreased amount of productivity.
Well, I think that's a very good point. And I think, because even in this thread, Jason Schreier was asked, are there any other companies you're expecting imminent delays from? And Schreier said all of them. And I think that's correct. I think at this point, we need to expect that every game that's coming out this year, every major title is going to see some sort of delay, because you are looking at a situation where your workforce is massively disrupted, being forced to work from home. They're not going to have all the technology they need on hand sometimes. It's just generally harder to be collaborative with people when you're working from home, as we've discovered here on YouTube, when we're like talking over the top of each other because we can't see when we're about to start start speaking. All those sorts of
Yep.
things are realities in game development as well. And so I think that we should definitely expect many, many more games this year to see a delay.
I think the biggest one we're going to see, sadly, is probably Cyberpunk. Now, they have come out recently.
Yeah.
Okay, they did come out recently and say, look, guys, it's all good. We're still on track. We've pushed it back a little bit, but man, all steam ahead. September, was it? What was it again?
What was that date, Sam?
Yeah, what was that?
What was that date you did the entire video where you just said it over and over and over again? And now you
I
can't
actually
remember
need
the
to
date?
say it now. Cyberpunk has been delayed to... Fuck, I actually forgot, man. Shit. I'm actually so dumb. Okay, I cannot remember what that is.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, you don't know either.
I'm
You don't
Googling
even
it now. I've totally forgotten as well. 17.
Didn't even look it up. 17th. I nearly looked it up. 17th,
There we go.
right?
What was the point of that video, man? What a waste.
Oh man, that was fantastic. That was avant-garde shit. At its best. Well, definitely shit. But okay, so we're back. So look, that I think that's the biggest game also. Now that has still months and months ahead of it, but now it's probably got months and months of working at home, not information sharing as much as you usually would within
Yeah.
a normal workplace. Meetings that easily happen because you just go, you come into the boardroom. Let's chat about this or that. Like, I think there's going to be a slowed down productivity for Cyberpunk. And look, they might still have the same problems in terms of we don't have enough warehouses open to even get this thing printing and get it ready to be distributed physically. So. Yeah, I mean, we definitely will probably see Cyberpunk pushed back to maybe holidays. Who knows?
We definitely will probably see it, guys. We definitely will
Definitely
probably see it pushed
okay?
back. Okay, so
And we'll
be
do
ready for
another
a
video
definite,
like
probable,
that.
maybe delay of Cyberpunk. Definitely.
Should we do
probable.
another video like that if it gets delayed? We should. I think that'd be a
should.
great idea.
Anyway, guys, that's the news for today. Last of Us Part 2 delayed indefinitely. We don't know when it's coming out. Hopefully, it's not too
Yep.
long. And hope you're all keeping safe and well out there. We will see you tomorrow.